Heal and Root, healing the future from the root.
On May 2, local time, results from the British local elections concluded. The right-wing Reform Party winning 674 seats, becoming the largest party in local parliaments. The ruling Labour Party came fourth with only 99 seats. Meanwhile in Germany, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution designated the Alternative for Germany, AfD, as a far-right organization and placed it under federal surveillance. In the German federal parliamentary elections held in February, the AfD came second with 20.8% of the vote. Recent polls show AfD support rising to 26%, ahead of the Union Party's 24%, making it the most supported party in current German polling. In recent years, Europe's political landscape has seen significant structural shifts. Far-right forces are expanding rapidly across national capitals and the European Parliament in Brussels. In the 2024 European Parliament elections, far-right parties increased their share of seats from 10% in 2019 to 15–20%, a 50% rise and a record high. At the national level, the wave of change is even more turbulent. Austria's far-right Freedom Party leads parliament as the largest party. In Italy, the Brothers of Italy dominates with 25% support. Germany's Alternative for Germany secured 20.8% of the 2025 general election vote, becoming the second largest party, marking the far-right's strongest resurgence since World War II. In the UK, the Reform Party surged in local elections, winning 670 seats and cornering both the Conservative and Labour parties. To grasp the essence of this political shift, we must look past surface events and trace its roots in history. Data shows that the political term extreme right originated during the French Revolution. In 1789, the First National Assembly convened, with reformists seated on the left and defenders of the old order on the right. This spatial arrangement evolved into the left-right political spectrum, with the extreme right representing the most conservative and exclusive segment. The early 20th century marked a peak for the European extreme right, with the Nazi Party rising in Germany and the Fascist Party seizing power in Italy. Historical analysis shows that this surge was not accidental, it was rooted in Europe's devastated economic conditions. In 1923, hyperinflation led to the collapse of the European monetary system. In Germany, the price of a loaf of bread skyrocketed from 160 marks to 200 billion marks within a year, and over 6 million people were unemployed. Starvation caused citizens to faint in the streets of Berlin. In Italy, industrial output dropped by 40%, and impoverished families stuffed newspapers in their clothes for warmth. In France, textile workers earned barely enough to buy 2 loaves of bread a day. In Andalusia, Spain, farmers resorted to eating grass roots and bark, and child malnutrition reached 70%. Historian Timothy Snyder noted, "Economic crises do not automatically lead to totalitarianism, but they destroy the immune system that resists totalitarianism." In survival crises, people seek simple explanations and quick solutions. This collective anxiety became fertile ground for far-right parties. These politicians offered clear scapegoats for complex problems: Jewish capital, in Germany; incompetent politicians, in Italy; separatists, in Spain. By simplifying blame, far-right forces turned public frustration into political support, ultimately dragging Europe into World War II. History never repeats itself, but it always rhymes. The current rise of the European far-right is again shadowed by troubling economic signs. According to 2024 Eurostat data, Eurozone growth stalled at just 0.5%. Germany saw a contraction of 0.3%, its worst performance since reunification. Though German inflation has eased from its 2022 peak, it remains high at 5.8%. The UK posted 1.1% growth, but this relied heavily on government subsidies, with public debt reaching 98.9% of GDP, a record since 1960. In southern Europe, the labor market worsened further, with unemployment hitting 28.9% in Greece and 26.4% in Spain. Behind these cold numbers lies the harsh reality of daily life. The European Federation of National Organizations working with the homeless reports that over 1.5 million people were homeless in 2024, a historic high. In Paris, the number of people sleeping in metro stations has surged 300% compared to previous years. In Germany, average monthly household food costs have jumped 43% since 2020, and more than 2 million people now rely on food banks. Long queues for free meals snake around Berlin Central Station. In France, pension reforms pushing retirement to age 64 force 50,000 seniors each month to keep working instead of retiring. In the UK, the NHS waiting list has ballooned past 7.5 million, leaving many cancer patients to turn to crowdfunding online in hopes of affording treatment. The strong rise of the far-right mirrors the deep crisis within European society. It reflects not only the harsh reality of economic downturn, but also the systemic failure of democracy to uphold social justice. German President Steinmeier's warning remains striking: democracy is not an automatic machine. It is a decoration during economic prosperity, and its true value is revealed during economic crisis. The moment democracy needs the most defense is often when it faces the greatest doubt. History is the root of civilization. In every political crisis, familiar patterns re-emerge. From the fall of the Weimar Republic to today's populist surge, history doesn't repeat, it reinterprets timeless political questions in new contexts. When economic growth falters and social distribution skews, public trust in the system erodes. At such moments, civilization poses its perennial question: when cracks appear in the social contract of equality and prosperity, can we summon the wisdom stored in our collective memory?